Personal branding is like the biggest personal asset that will follow you wherever you go. You don't need to be a founder to build a founder brand.
When you first started, I remember you have a lot of doubt and
Exactly.
questions, things like, am I good enough? That kind of thing. Am I qualified? Bring us back to that stage.
There was another louder voice in the head that says, hey, you are not a CEO or you're not a founder.
Yeah.
So basically, you're not qualified or you're not good enough to be able to coach people to build their own personal brand. And that feels like shit because you really wanted to do it, but then you are reluctant. You don't believe that you have what it takes to do it. And then I asked one of my previous managers who I really trust, and she told me, to be able to coach people, you need to have a proven success yourself first. But then I heard a quote that says, grab the opportunity first and figure out the way later. So that was the moment I decided to, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get back to you. And then I'm going to take that offer and we're going to do it together.
I have no achievement. I'm just ordinary person working in normal job. How can I share?
The first strategy I would advise all of them is,
hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today we have a very good friend of mine and he has been helping me endlessly for building my personal brand on LinkedIn. I used to don't know what to write on LinkedIn and he coached me all the way. His name is Quan, full name is Quan Ta. And he is now founding his own brand. It's called Brand Architects and he's helped founders. And he has already have a few clients and founders. He's helping to bring their story to life. And he's recently got the top voice on LinkedIn. And welcome, Quan.
Thank you
brother.
for having me. It's really nice to be here.
Okay, we started long time ago, right? How long was it ago? Almost at the beginning, like the Q2
This year or last year?
this
Oh,
year.
I think we first met when I applied for a job at your company.
Yes.
And then after that, we not go ahead with the role, but then we somehow work together in your own personal brand.
Yes.
I think it dated back to 2022.
Yes.
Around May or
Yeah,
June.
somewhere around that.
Yeah. Time flies. Couldn't remember. Yeah.
And then we officially start. I remember it's in March. That's when I told you, okay, I have arranged everything to be so I can focus on doing this. And then we intensively did it for about a month or two, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And then we hit it off and yeah. So you just started and this is valuable for guys who just got it started. And a few guys remember the time when you first started, I remember you have a lot of doubt and questions, things like, am I good enough? That kind of thing. Am I qualified? Tell me about that time when you bring us back to that stage when you first start.
Shaking my body. So I think it was in March that was the first time you asked me, is that okay if we view your personal brand together on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Back in the day, I really wanted to do it. So I was also in Bali back in the day. So I was looking for a different opportunity. And then I really wanted to work with you on your personal brand on LinkedIn. With a background in content marketing, I know what sort of strategy or what sort of content theme to put up so that we can gain tractions and awareness, say, for the audience. But then there was another louder voice in the head that says, hey, you are not a CEO or you're not a founder.
Yeah.
So basically, you're not qualified or you're not good enough to be able to coach people to build their own personal brand. Plus, back in the day, I didn't have a LinkedIn page myself, a strong presence on LinkedIn. So all of that sort of put me in the pressure of thinking, maybe I'm not good enough, right? And then maybe I'm no one to do that thing. And then I asked one of my previous manager who I really trust. And she told me to be able to coach people, you need proven success first. So that put me in a horrible place of asking myself and doubting myself again. And that moment, I really couldn't feel anything helpless.
Right.
I don't know about you, but then for me, it sucks when you see a great opportunity in front of you, but then you are afraid to grab it because you think you're not good enough.
Mm.
And then I was like stuck in the limbo for I think a few weeks
Yeah.
asking. I didn't get back to you right away on that offer. But then one day I was eating YouTube for breakfast, right? And then I saw a quote. I heard a quote, grab the opportunity first and then figure out the way later.
Mm.
That was literally an enlightening moment that got me thinking again, shit, yeah, I should try it. What could have failed? Nobody knows what I know.
Yeah.
And then nobody have the experience that I have.
Yeah.
So I can definitely figure out a way if I put my thought into doing it rather than tackling the fear. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to get back to you
Yep.
and then I'm going to take that offer and we're going to do it together.
Yep.
And then I believe that after 6 months or 3 months we work together, your personal brand gained like a horrible traction on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's increased. Not the follower is one thing,
Yeah.
but the readership
Yeah.
is very important to me because it's not only how many people read your stuff,
Right.
but who read it,
Yeah.
right? And I have a lot of audience who are C-level, D-level
Hmm.
founders, and they are in the community. So I feel, and funny story, the other day I was at this conference, right? And I was
Okay.
like hanging around and was trying to talk to people. And then there's suddenly like this guys, and he just come grabbing me and he's, hey, you Duc on LinkedIn, I read your post and follow you. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Yeah,
Great choice. Yeah. Yeah. Great
thank
choice.
you for reading my what I write. And
Yeah.
it feel good because it feel like I'm speaking out what I'm thinking.
Hmm.
Before working with you, actually, I wanted to write because I want to get it out there, not because I want to promote anything, but I just want to share my thought, right?
Yeah.
On a channel that's civilized. Which is, I think on LinkedIn is
LinkedIn
pretty
is definitely
civilized,
placed. Yeah.
right? It's pretty
Yeah.
civilized. No, not much trollings
Mhm.
and not much like that. And I found it a place where people actually try to support each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like communities, so everybody got same kind of goal. So I want to do it, but I don't know how to do it.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna write randomly and see how it goes. So
Yeah.
I wrote really randomly. Okay,
Yes.
and then I actually got a few data, but when we work together, actually we streamline of
Mhm.
what topic we should be tackling on
Mhm.
and where there is a market need, and which is very important. I
That's
think,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. And that process of working with you, and I think you enjoy the benefit. And thank you again for referring me to another clients. And then they all work with me, enjoying. I think quite the same benefits, and then
Good.
one refer another. So it's like a ripple effect that I really enjoy. And yeah, that was the first moment I worked with you on your personal brand, and I go out and work with a few other founders on their personal brand on LinkedIn. Doing it with 4 or 5 clients,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
started thinking, oh my God, if that day I say no to you, I decline that offer, I would not figure out what I really want to do.
Yeah.
By doing it with a few founders, I really enjoy the process of telling their stories. Not me telling them, but like working with them to tell their stories
Yeah.
and messages and put it in like a different angles
Yeah.
that make people love them for their message,
Yes.
right? Not for the title. And then, yeah, I really enjoy working it with people. And then I live in Bali right now as well. So it's like a perfect sort of alternative lifestyle,
Yeah.
which I could not imagine if I was still in the corporate job 9 to 5.
Mm.
I guess the whole process taught me one thing, that you don't need to be really good to start,
Yeah.
but then you got to start to be good and be more confident. And then, yeah,
Very true.
always take the opportunity first and then figure out a way later, because I now believe that opportunity, it, it doesn't come around often.
Mm.
You got to grasp it when it comes.
Yeah.
Thank you again for trusting me with the very first process and very first project we worked together.
Yeah.
Really.
It's the same as the juice always did, right? And I read this on, I think one of the book.
Yeah.
And the reason why juice builds massive wealth in the
Mhm.
world, if you think about it, the JP Morgans are juice, the Goldman Sachs are juice.
Right. Mhm.
the Warburg Pincus are used. So in the finance world, they are pretty much like the big guy, right?
Yeah.
And they build massive businesses. It's because they have community. And I believe in the community is because here's what they did. Okay. They right, basically have a group of people who do a lot of other businesses,
Mhm.
right? And everybody feeding on each other. And what they did is they will feed the business to the people who they know. And even if that person failed,
Mhm.
they will give the feedback and then they will keep the business again
That's
until
right.
that person becomes successful.
Successful.
And so that
Brilliant.
is like kind of mentality that build everything up together. One person cannot be by themselves,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So you always have to play a role, and then you're gonna fit to somebody, and somebody gonna fit to you, and you have clients, then you are become clients, and you're serving someone at the same time.
Right.
Always like that. So at that time when I read that about I think about 2 years ago, and I realized that it's very important to build this
Community around.
yeah, and instead of doing things like, okay, you cooperate, right? What
Mhm.
they do is they procurement 3 guys, 4 guys, and then
Right.
they choose like the most benefit guys.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, that is very good in terms of cost, but that process alone actually kill the relationship because when you are in a relationship, because I own my own business, so I don't have like really, you know,
Care about
care.
anyone around. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to build. So this is a long term
Mhm.
instead of a short term. Right? So you build that kind of relationship and you build it for a long time,
Yes.
and then you keep using the same vendors until they improve. It's very important. It's just the same as your clients keep trusting you, even though you're making mistakes.
That's right. Yeah.
And yeah, so if you can get together and build a kind of big ecosystem of everybody's who you can trust and
Support.
support
Yeah.
and that, and it will bring actually massive benefit, you know.
And what
Yeah.
you mentioned there, it actually works with technology on LinkedIn as well. So
Mhm.
if you have, say, a little community of, we call it raving fans who would really love and interact with your content,
Yep.
say during the first 1 hour, if you have like those group of people who really support your content, it would it will stimulate the algorithm and bring your content much further
Yeah.
to the say the broader audience on LinkedIn. So I would definitely believe in that power of a community when it comes to building a personal brand.
Yep.
Technical wise, technology wise, it's important. But then on the value wise, it's also say I strongly believe in the sense of community when you relate your value to the broader crowd so that more and more people can learn from you.
Mhm.
It positions you in say a place of help. And
Yep.
when you position yourself to help, more and more people would come for help.
Yep.
And that is how I believe in the value of personal brand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just not ego, hey, I'm so cool. But then it's just more, hey, this is what I can bring to the table. This
Yeah.
is what I can help you with. So that is my value and principle in building a personal brand, even for myself and all
Yeah.
of other clients. So yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest mistakes that people always make when they try to share their content
Yeah.
is they don't care about their audience.
That's right. Yeah.
I think that's like the things that most people do.
All of them using a lot of founders, my prospects, I call it.
Yeah.
They use LinkedIn like a journal. They
Yeah.
write out everything going on in their business and their day without like nothing relatable and resonating for the clients.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
going, hey, like I finished the fundraising sound, or I just launched this product, or this is how cool our product is. But
Or hiring,
yeah,
I'm trying to hire someone.
exactly.
This kind of content like, of course, if it blended, it's okay. But if you constantly, okay, I'm just have this new product,
Yeah.
and all you talk about is your own product, and it's what I think was the biggest mistake.
Yeah, that bores me to death as well
Yeah.
to see that sort of content. Say when you are a founder of business,
Yeah.
you have a stronger, a broader ecosystem of business around you. So why don't you just relate with them in a way that you give them value?
Yeah.
So they remember you for your valuable advice or insights. Yeah. When it comes to building a personal branding is all about them, the value you can give them. How can you relate to them? Not how I should position myself in a way that only me and my business is the hero, right?
Yeah, it's not biography.
Yeah.
It's
not. It's not.
It's not biography. Yeah,
I can
it's like
really
really
go-
provide good values
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the crowds, right? So so now founder brand is something become a buzzword, right? So even HBR, Harvard Business Review, like Bloomberg, they are writing about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's become like a buzzword. So soon it become, maybe it's already become like a hype.
Yeah.
So everybody will start rushing to do it. What do you see in the future of this? Where do you think this is going? Where do you think this
Okay.
whole new set of marketing, just like social media
Mm-hmm.
many years ago and TV ad, and now it's founder brand, employer brand, employee branding.
Yeah.
Where do you think it's going?
For me, that say taking from your case study, you have 3 different businesses.
Yep.
Back in the day, when you asked me how to promote the 3 businesses the most effective way without spending a lot of money.
Yep.
So if you equally distribute the marketing resources, including human, spend, money, and labor for all 3 different businesses, it's going to be, say, a tremendous effort, right? It takes a lot of human labor and then also money to deliver the results for each of the business. So founder brand comes in the space of, hey, I am the founder of all those 3 businesses. If I can attract a crowd or a fan community or a community of people supporting me, taking from your case study, right? And then the future for founder branding is that even when your product is not ready, if you build that community of people who support you as the founder of your business, if you relay the message and then the advice for the community related to your startup problem statements, then you already attract a potential user or potential customer base.
Yes.
And that is how you really amplify the marketing effort in a way that you don't spend a lot of money for user acquisition later on when the product is ready. But then you slowly build a community of people who support you and your product so that when the product is ready, they will start buying. That is the first reason. The second reason I think startup branding is going to be a key marketing channel for all startup later on is that I would hate to say this, but then all startup founders would have somehow an exit strategy, right? When you spend a lot of resources building the marketing or the brand for your business, and when you are no longer associated with that business, it almost feels like a loss of emotional attachment. Now, John Hardy, the founder of a jewelry brand himself, is a case study. He built a huge and successful jewelry business in New York. And then after that, he sold that away. Literally, he sold his brand name away, John Hardy. Right.
His name.
Exactly. And then people do a lot of things with that brand without him being able to control it.
Yeah.
So when you sell your business away without your own brand as the founder,
Right.
If the founder has a personal brand himself,
right,
different from the business, you can benefit your business. But then when you are no longer associated with that business, you can still have that strong ground and foundation to build everything else. John Hardy now cannot use his name to build any other jewelry business, right?
No.
He can only name it in different way.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So that is the story of John Hardy. Yeah, I think 2 reasons. First is low cost marketing, easier to build from when you start. And then second is like a smart exit strategy for all founders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go to the first one, right? You don't have a product. You don't have nothing. Right?
Exactly.
And you are, let's say, there's so many kind of guys, and they might be students. They might be working in corporate jobs, right? So how do you build these profiles? You just fresh out of college, and I hear this a lot. I hear it's too much. Okay, so I think this is gonna be a fun discussions because there are guys. Okay, they incorporate. They work like a kind of any kind of job, HR, finance, whatever, right?
Right. Yeah.
And they say, look, I have no achievement. I'm just ordinary person working in normal jobs. And okay, maybe I'm a manager, but what have I done?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
how can I share?
Yeah. How can I share?
How can I share? How can I build? Yeah.
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 My clients are mostly founders.
Yeah.
So they have a strong business story of
Yeah.
how they become a founder and then a lot of other daily life moments that inspire other people. But then let's forget about them today.
Yeah.
Back to your questions. How can fresh graduates and then how can junior executives can start sharing their story online? The first reason, the first strategy I would advise all of them is you don't need to know a lot of things to share, but you can share whatever. Say at work, you are doing recruitment, you are doing marketing. Too often you would have to handle project and deal with some sort of process.
Yep.
So my advice for them is to document their process and share it online because whatever you do,
Yep.
there will be someone else out there a couple of years behind you who can learn from you, right? If you are fresh out of college or if you're fresh out of uni, you can talk about this is what I learned in uni. This is how I do assignment in uni.
Yeah.
So by showing your approach, how do I approach this assignment in uni? You started view that message. This is how I work. And that is your personal brand. And say if someone else looking to recruit you, they know this is the process your approach work.
Yeah.
And that adds a bit of credibility. And then the thought, the thought process brand for yourself. That is my advice for fresh graduates and junior executives.
Yeah. People want to see your journey, right? And
Exactly, not
like
achievement.
with the story. Too often, I think these days we forget that we are storytellers.
That's right.
When in the ancient time, when we don't know how to write,
Mhm.
we haven't invented word, right?
Languages
Character,
already.
languages, and
Yeah,
such. People would sit around in the fire camp at the end of the day, and they would
sharing their stories.
share what their story is. So that's when you got folklore
Yeah.
coming out.
You know what? I will take my case study. Back in the day when I started, I don't have a lot of experience in the marketing space.
Yeah.
But then I talk about this is how I approach marketing assignments at uni. I talk about how I lost all 3 different part-time jobs and what I learned. And that was something people really love because that is the story that people can relate to. When you tell your story in a way that you focus on value for the readers,
Yeah.
they will take it away anyway.
Mm.
And then there's the more you reflect on what you do and the process behind your achievement, the more materials you have, the
Yeah.
richer you will be in terms of storytelling.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I love your point there on like storytelling. We all have stories. We just need to find a way to tell it in a
Yeah.
way that relates to people. Yeah.
Yeah, and just write it. And it can be hard at the beginning, and you think that a lot of people judge, but to be honest, nobody freaking up.
Exactly. On social media, attention span is like a few seconds.
Yeah.
If they don't love what you write, they just want to ignore it. But then they would initially have no time to judge your content.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Give it a crack and then start writing. And then you only know because you write. And
Yeah.
you only know how to get better because you start doing it.
Yeah. Writing is very important. Is you articulate your thought.
Exactly.
So you found a branding, but you not necessarily have to be founders
That's right.
to start writing. You can be anyone, anybody. You can start documenting your stories and such like that.
And I love what you mentioned there.
Mm.
Founder brand you don't need to be a founder to be a founder brand.
Yeah.
Because you are the one creating your reality, I would say. So I'm not a founder myself right now, but I start doing content on how to view your brand as a founder. And then that got me into the position that I'm founding my business around it. So you start doing something and you're realizing this is the niche that you can go down to. That is how you how you found your business without being a founder. So the title shouldn't stop you from creating that personal brand of a founder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. So so now you are at the stage where your content starts to get read quite widely, and it's just
Yeah.
probably speed up
Yeah.
from here. So let's go to business then.
Okay. Let's talk business.
People are going to ask, okay, you write what, and yeah, you provide content, you got interactions, but how's you gonna turn it into a business?
The content itself is
Yes.
only 20% of the work.
Yes.
The remaining 80% is how you approach people. and how you share your stories.
Yes.
So I a little bit secret into my business. Now, a part of content, what is more important is to build that system, to build that product first, the packaging of service, and then build a system of how you deliver that service to other people.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is, say, 40% of the work when I started. After I build that system of work, I was find a system to approach people.
Mm.
Now on LinkedIn, if you create content, if you get the eyeballs, great, people love you. But then too often they will not contact you. They will not initiate the conversation if you don't give them the push to do that. So myself, I've been having a list of people I want to target,
Yep.
my prospects. The strategy behind it is you start interacting with them. You start building that conversation and relationship with them first.
Yep.
And if they have the need, they will turn to you when they have it.
Yep.
So I approach selling in a way that is more like an inbound sort of methodology.
Okay.
I don't push people, hey, here, this is my product.
Mm.
Have it, give it a try.
Mm.
I would say, here is what I do. And one day you would need it.
Mm.
So slowly you build that demand for them.
Yep.
So they generate that demand. And then when they have that demand, you are already a top of mind sort of brand that turns you.
And then you're doing consulting mostly, right? So one-on-one coaching,
That's right.
and then you help people put a strategy out there, what to
I really want to create a product for the mass people, say in Vietnam. But then right now, I put the priority on doing one-on-one coaching and consulting with business founders or business owners, just to get the name established, my brand name first as the founder brand coach. And then I believe that Vietnamese, I would say in Vietnam, right? Or many other Asian countries, people use LinkedIn either to recruit
Mm.
or to sell, not as a place for personal brand.
True.
So I think if we can somehow change a small set of the people going around on LinkedIn, it is already a big piece of cake that we can tap into.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it sound really business, but then I think a lot of other people, executives, managers on LinkedIn, they can benefit so much from their expertise by sharing it to other people.
Yep.
Because eventually there will be someone who can learn from you, and then they would ask you for your advice. And you can start charging because it's equally energy exchange. You give feedback, you get advice, and then you should be paid for what you do. That's
Cool.
what I believe. Yeah. Plain simple business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You provide your time, right?
Yeah. And then expertise and
your
service.
expertise,
Yeah.
and instead of you researching
Yeah.
and have a lot need to spend a lot of time, this is because you are not familiar with the space.
Exactly.
And you got this guy, and this is a story I read, and this guy he always go to the top people, and then he will ask the top kind of people in each expertise, and they were like, how much you advise me for 1 hour? And people would go like, yeah, I never done it before, so 1,000, 2,000. He's like, no, let's do 2 hours, 3 hours, and all the whole day, and we will do 4,000, 5,000.
Okay.
And people was like, what, for one day? What is that? So people was like, wow. And then people was like rushing in to do it for him, but nobody understand why. But this guy was like consolidate the knowledge of 30 years into the one day, and then he was like learn everything, every trick into the kind of the business.
And I think that's how having a coach is so different from doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Literally now there's a lot of coaches online. Everyone claims to
It's a
be
lot,
coach,
yeah.
right? Yeah. But then to me, if you do it yourself, great. You would have to go through a lot of trials and errors, seeing what it works. And then maybe after you do it yourself, you can become a coach because you have that taste of success.
Yeah.
But then if you really want to go fast, investing in that shortcut of working with someone else who have been there, done that, you can learn from them.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth the investment because I'm going to say this myself. I invest in my learning, and I spend, back in the day, I've never spent like more than $1,000 for a course.
Yeah.
Then I spend much more than that. And then with what I learned in that, I apply, and then it works for my business and start earning so much more than what I invested. with shorter amount of time. I believe that money is a renewable sort of energy. You can spend and then it would come. But then
Yeah.
time,
Yeah. Yeah.
you cannot renew it. So
Yeah.
the faster you go, the easier and then the better.
Yeah. Yeah. True. And you went to Bali when? When was that?
Late February
Like
this year.
February. So
I've
6 months
yeah,
ago.
6 months ago.
6 months ago.
Been
There's a
living.
lot of Vietnamese in Bali.
I don't see a lot of Vietnamese people in Bali though.
That's all right.
I see people as a tourist, but not as a like a long-term,
Oh.
like not an expat. Yeah.
But there's a lot of people working there as like digital nomad and such.
Yeah. And a lot of people like digital nomad, but then mostly whites.
I'm still.
Mostly white people or say Asian from Singapore.
Oh,
A lot of people from
right.
Singapore or other part. I would say more like more developed countries. I would hate to say developed or developing, but then say people with a mindset of not needing to work in a corporate job would be more able to travel and then work at the same time. And I think we in Vietnam still there is a public notion of you need to have a stable job, you need to earn stable income.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of social pressure on you as well to buy a house, or buy a car, getting married, have
Every
a
kid.
family. So to be able to go away for a long time,
Yeah.
not having a stable income, a stable job
Yeah.
is something that I don't think that a lot of people would be able to tolerate. And it's fair. We just have different priority.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely not for everybody.
That's why I say
Everybody has their own function in
yeah,
the.
alternative lifestyle is
Yeah.
something that you chose.
Yeah.
You have to choose.
What's the pros and cons? So you definitely don't have to come to work by 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you're working on some other project too, right? In Bali.
Yeah, I work in say I am now managing a general manager of sales and marketing for a hotel and resorts and restaurant sort of project. Job is quite easy to set up the system, build the process, and then find the right people to do it. And I love what you told me earlier that when you do a business, try to detach from operation as soon as possible because that's how we can create more high level work. Yeah. And then that's how we free up our time to do, let's say, high quality or high value work. So,
Yeah.
sales marketing for hotel and restaurant. And also, yeah, coming back to your questions on pros and cons, when I left corporate job, there was like 2 months of not doing anything, not knowing what to do next. But then that was a huge sort of growth process because thanks to confusion, you need to really put on effort to finding clarity. Back in corporate job, I think I was like too comfortable working from one project to the next project, constantly trying to achieve something new for the corporate. But then always I would ask myself one question, what I want to achieve for myself. That was something working in corporate doesn't give me that clarity. But then with now 2 months of working, I want to do this again. With 2 months not working on anything, you really focus on working on yourself. And that's how I become, say, a started brand coach because that gives me, say, the income I need. But then I work when I want, not when I need.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I can onboard more client when I want.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same story of this person, and he was obviously he was fishing, right? And then there's a guy coming from big city, he's having a vacation in the place. I think it's PG or somewhere. And they were saying, "Oh, why would you? Well, what would you do if you can ship more? Can fish more?
Yeah.
You can hire more people to fish." And this guy saying, "This fisher is like saying, okay, then what? And then okay, you can buy bigger boat, fish more, sell more." And then you can sell your company and retire. And then the other guy goes saying, then what? And then he's okay, you can retire finally, and then you can lying on the beach and chill and sleep for lunch. He said, isn't what I'm doing now. Then it actually teach you a lesson, right? Okay, a lot of people are trying to chase success.
Yeah.
But not many people can define success.
successful
What's
to
successful to you?
Yeah.
Is it successful? You have 2 kids, 3 kids. Many people I know
Having
problem, have kids. So you have 2 house, 1 house, you have a car.
Yeah.
you have a life that you feel comfortable. You send the kids overseas. What like a lot of people doesn't know what is really successful,
Success is. But then
right?
say when you cannot define success and then you constantly strive for success, it's
Yeah,
like a moving target.
yeah,
You would
yeah,
never stop. You would relentlessly going after something that you don't know.
yeah.
So that end up putting a lot of more pressure on you
On
to
yourself.
like overachieving something you don't know. So being a digital nomad, living away from your home country, give me the mindset of you can define success in whatever way you want, but then the really important thing is you need to be able to feel good
Mm,
and well in balance.
yeah,
That's why I say, living in Bali is such a great chance for me to blend in with the nature, having time for myself,
yep,
also working in different projects,
yep.
building different side income project. That is to me success. I don't have a house now. I don't have a big car, but then those are not elements that I define success.
Yep.
Yeah.
So last time we have this discussion, like we are even thinking about doing a podcast called Millennial versus Gen Z. You
Gen Z
remember? Yeah,
thinking on
that's one of
certain
the
topics. Yeah.
yeah. So I think this is a part that I can relate. We can relate to a lot of Gen Z audience
Yeah.
or millennials in that matters too. Is if you are going to have a place and you are going to earn enough for yourself,
Right.
would you ever be worried about what happened if you got sick, or what happened if you don't have a house to live in, or you cannot work anymore? Would you ever like thought of that?
So before I quit corporate job, there was a fear. The moment you have to decide it, there
Uh,
was like a lot of fears, the fear of uncertainty,
yeah,
fear of not knowing what to do next, fear of not having stable income, fear of not being insurance covered.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of insecurity that was brought up so that you really need to clarify what do you want more. So for me back in the day, it was the lifestyle, living by nature, living in tune. And yeah, I took that opportunity and quit corporate job. I was scared, but I did it scared anyway.
yep,
And then yeah, after that it worked out because I started work with you on personal brand and then I work with other people. So I know there is an alternative lifestyle that I can go for.
yep,
And right now I'm earning, I would say I'm earning more than what I did with a 9 to 5 job with so much less time. So that I can spend more time on like building different income stream
yep.
and also building leisure time for myself.
Yeah, that's the key, right? Because I see, especially in Vietnam, eh, when I come back from the US, I see in Vietnam, these people are very competitive.
Yeah.
In a very small market.
Yeah.
Right?
Extremely.
When you are in the US, you are like, oh my God, Vietnam is so small.
Yeah.
It, as a certain funds,
Yeah.
when I was working in New York, and nobody even want to bother about Vietnam about 15 years ago. No one to bother. It's so small.
Yeah.
It's like third world country, kind of.
That's right.
Not even
Third world.
anyway. But now it's getting better, and it's become a center, a little bit of attention of the world right now. But back then was nothing. Okay.
Exactly.
And then people get so competitive in such a small market because
Mm.
they cannot see. You cannot even think about charging in dollar.
That's
That is the biggest mindset block
Yeah.
of achieving a higher income,
High income. For
right?
sure. Yeah.
Because you cannot even think in dollar,
Yeah.
right? You only think in Vietnam.
That's right. You are right. A
Yeah.
few weeks ago, I have one of my ex-colleagues asking me, hey, Quan, you're now doing coaching and consulting. How much do you charge for an hour? And I was like, and he was asking me, should I charge for 100,000 Vietnam dong? Literally like $5. And I told him, no, mate. If you trust your ability,
Yeah.
go more than what you want. It's
Yeah.
like for myself, I'm not on this go my rate. But then thinking in the Vietnam dong mindset really limit your earning potential.
Correct.
Why don't you just go and provide the same service for other people and charging dollars and say whoever cannot afford your service,
Yeah.
it's not your audience anyway.
Yeah.
Have a baseline in dollars is so much easier to do business outside of Vietnam and even inside Vietnam.
And your skill is totally transmittable, right?
That's right. Yeah.
It's not like a skill that is only applicable for only Vietnam. Let's say real estate or legals, stuff like that, only
That's true.
applicable to the country.
Yeah.
But marketing is, and we have a lot of marketing guys are going to listening to this, okay? And marketing is very transmittable,
That's right.
okay? And IT is extremely very transmittable, right? Okay, so all that
You
stuff
can do
is
it like everywhere and for every country.
yeah, and we are being like the country where we got outsourced
Outsourcing hub in the world.
outsourcing hub in the
Yeah.
world, and we basically do it for a cheaper price. What would they have done the same overseas?
Obviously. And that sort of mindset, I think if more and more people doing freelancing, they would realize that there is a notion of people doing marketing that we believe, or not we, people in marketing believe that because they don't come from a first language sort of background,
Yeah,
therefore they should charge any less. No, you spend the same equal amount of time
yeah,
and you create so much better results.
yeah.
Asians are really good at math, so they do marketing good that way. Why don't you just believe that you can do it
Yeah.
with an equal pay? And that's why I ask for the same rate as people doing in US. And then it works for me.
Yeah.
And because I've been building that personal brand, and this is the value I bring to the table.
Yeah,
This is what I want to earn. And then this is the only amount that I think that I'm worth for at least in 1 hour. That is a really good point that you point to, that we just need to think with a dollar mindset.
yeah. Meaning you thinking worldwide
Yeah.
mindset, not local mindset. That's
Exactly.
very important. And there are guys who will be listening to this, and are guys who are very good at certain skill,
Mhm.
maybe logistic, maybe financials,
Right.
finance, maybe banking and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And they will be like, okay, and even IT guys. So the thing is, they are good at a technical trade,
That's
but they're not good at selling
Mhm.
or marketing, right?
That's right.
They have no idea. Their language skill is limited. They have no idea how to sell their skill that would have been on a
Mhm.
higher level, and they cannot transmit that kind of expertise,
Yeah,
because they have no sales and marketing,
exactly.
right?
So that is when you need personal branding
Yeah.
and social selling. There is a
Yeah,
concept,
yeah,
social selling equals personal branding plus solution selling.
yeah,
So whatever it is, your solution.
yep,
But then to be able to sell on social, you need that personal brand that people can find you. I was strongly advise against Upwork or Fiverr when you started out, because you are literally nobody, right?
yeah,
And then you go into a really crowded sort of market
yep,
without a personal brand, nobody knows you. And there is always someone else cheaper.
yeah, yeah. That's when you get compared,
Exactly.
right?
But then if you go on, say, building that personal brand for yourself, for your niche, for your service, you would attract people who can afford you.
Yeah, yeah,
If you got lucky, then you would also attract a crowd that support you. And then from that crowd, somebody would go to find you when they have the need. But then that is the inbound part of it. You also need to do a bit of outbound, like how to start the conversation with people
yeah,
to refine your services. So all of the technical guys out there, they have the earning potential, but then they just need to have a right push of building that personal brand,
yep,
relating to what you know,
yep,
not your title. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
think.
Well, what you know is very important in this age, because knowledge is practically
Exactly. And then,
very highly transmittable.
and what is more joyful than being able to teach someone
Yeah,
to create their success,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I believe that every single one with, say, certain expertise, they
Mm-hmm.
can do either two things.
Yeah,
First is providing service to people who need that service. Second is to teach someone else to get that knowledge.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Say if you are a business guy, you can provide your business service, but then you can also coach other people to be that business guy.
right,
There is multiple earning potential
right.
for a business executive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's give the guys listening a little bit of free stuff, right? Like some valuable stuff that you teach. If let's say the first session you have with your clients,
Mhm.
okay, episode 1,
Episode
or
one.
episode 0, okay, orientation. What would you have them prepare? Let's just say I'm a new guy and I want to build my own personal brands.
Mhm.
I'm a basically corporate worker, 9 to 5.
Okay.
Go home, I have a kid,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't be able to basically spend a lot of time. So how would I start?
Okay. In all of my first meeting with clients,
Yes.
I would ask them the same one questions of who are you if you're not your name, your sexuality,
Yeah.
your job title,
Mhm.
your nationality. That question got people into trouble for a few minutes
Yeah.
of really thinking, who are they? And when you can answer that question with your knowledge, with your expertise, with your values, that is how you have a foundation for your personal brand, right? You cannot just say, hey, I am the founder of this business. And then I
Yeah.
usually ask people, if you are not the founder of your business, then who are you? What is the purpose that you're trying to serve a bigger community there? And I think that relates to the life purpose sort of questions. So when you have that some idea about it, you can start building that personal brand. And then with all of my clients, I would ask they define the one topic that you can go and talk for 1 hour unprepared.
Mm.
For me, it's marketing,
Mm.
right? For IT guys, it's definitely about I would say assume the operations, or for software engineer, they can talk about coding, right? And then under that one big topic, what is one smaller topic that you can talk about? Say for marketing, I can talk about social media marketing, right? And then the next questions is who you can benefit from that niche, who have the earning or the paying potential to pay you for your advice about social media. For me, it's marketing and then further personal branding.
Mm.
And then the one that I can benefit from in terms of monetary resources is business founders and business owners. By only three things. First, the big topic you can talk about. Second, is one smaller topic that is your niche, right? And then the only one person that willing to pay you for that. By connecting the three dots, you have your niche of creating money. For me, myself, is personal branding for business owners,
Right.
because they have the paying potential. And then after you have that niche, the next step is to build a content system that amplify your niche. Now, under social media, what are the three different five pillars of topics you can talk about? You can talk about conversion optimization. You can talk about content planning. You can
Mm.
talk about production workflow, right? And then with that different topic pillars, the next step is really easy. Just find a way to talk about conversion. You can talk about how to optimize the conversion, 5 different tools to test conversion rate, 5 different ways to improve conversion rate. So I call it going from the big niche to smaller niche, and then different pillar, and then smaller messaging angle. That is how you can create value specific content for the readers. And then regularly blend those sort of technical content with your personal lessons. You yourself as a person with personal values. That is how you create a blend or a mix between your expertise and then you as a person. And people would love you for both of your expertise and then your personal values.
Mm.
That is how I've been building personal brands for all of my clients.
Yeah. So we start from there, and we start to provide values based on our existing expertise.
Yeah, and knowledge and
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah.
And I think it's super easy for younger guys. I mean, like fresh guys graduating from college or like junior executive as well.
Right.
They can do the same thing
Right.
because you cannot say to me, I wouldn't believe this. You cannot say that I don't know anything to talk about.
True. Yeah.
You've been through so much to be who you are,
Yeah.
to be a marketing graduate. So you can talk about a lot of things, how to be like the top one graduate. Like,
Yeah. Even if you just graduate from school and you just take everything in your textbook and you just concise it
yeah,
and you just put out there.
exactly.
There is like a zillion of people wants to take that shortcut without taking up like 3 months courses.
That is how a lot of service provider, they provide like a book summary service.
There you go.
This is a brilliant business model. You pay $15 a month. You can
Yeah.
get every book that you want.
Yeah, and then you basically do it on large scale. And my sister did that too. cannot read.
Exactly. There you go.
They want to listen, and they want to listen to the summary.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So Audible and all of that services out there doing a reading model. If you don't want to read, let us read it for you.
Yeah,
Or if you don't want to read the whole book, let us summarize it for you.
yeah.
And people pay for it.
There you go.
Exactly. I guess I can summarize it in a shorter version. Okay. You don't need to be a content marketer to build a personal brand. What you need is to define one big topic you can talk about.
Mm.
Then a smaller topic under that big topic you can talk an hour about unprepared. Then find a person who can relate to those advice. Find that person you want to target. And then start creating some small piece of content around the small topic you can talk about. Find the angle that you want to talk about it and distribute it. And that is how you build a content system for yourself. Of course, content is not 100%, but then to me, it takes the most amount of work. And if you can crack it, you are good to be a personal brand on LinkedIn or any other channel, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's all come down to the distribution, working with the community and talking to people to refine your message. And that should come very easy because when you throw the content out there, people will start asking questions. And that is how you can test your message and just refine it.
So that is content. So that basically that is the product that we are. That's for the founder brand, for example, is a product we're building.
Yes.
Then a lot of people will have this product, and then they will go to sales and marketing. They will be like, okay, how do I tailor this to or bring this out to my audience, and how do I know that they are the one who ready to buy the product? How do you find out that?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
When you start, everything is a test.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot go, I would say 100% sure this is the one that I will stick to the end. The first 3 months is you propose, say you have an hypothesis of this is the people that I serve.
Yep.
Right. And then my strategy is to send your post to those people and ask if they can resonate. Of
Okay.
course, you need that relationship first to be able to ask questions because you can just not go and ask random people, stranger technical questions.
Yep.
Right. So build that relationship with people first and then ask questions. And that is when you see if they need or they have the need to buy your products. And if they're not, good, because at least you know who not to target. You move on with the next target and then replicate the process. But then to me, when you build a service, you have a pretty good instinct of who can benefit from it.
Yep.
Say for me, personal brand, a lot of people are doing personal brand, but then for me, because I come from a ground of like product marketing and then content marketing, like a startup sort of thing, then I know that my audience is personal of business owners or founder. But then a lot of other people doing founder brand also work with a lot of different audience, say coaches online.
Yep.
Or top level executives.
So how do you actually take the product and to the sales and marketing process? And how do you know that the person is ready to buy what you
Okay.
are about to offer?
So that is, to summarize, is how to get clients when you start.
Yeah. So how do you identify which one is the right clients
Okay.
for you? Because like founders, if you're a founder, we have like zillion type founders, right?
That's right. Yeah. Good, really good questions. There are, say, I would say five different criteria that help you to define who you want to buy. Say for
Mhm.
founders, yeah. Specific examples. You can either define them with firmographic, say founder a 5-figure or 7-figure business. Or you can define them with the value or psychographic side, busy founders.
Mhm.
Or you can define them by location or business founders in Vietnam,
Right.
US. So how do you find clients?
Yeah. How do you identify that is like the right client for you?
Okay. So in marketing, we have a standard for segmentation variable, right?
Yeah.
By behavior, psychography, value, all of that can help you to find your ideal client. So
Right.
to build that ideal customer profile, after sale, who has the paying potential first?
Mhm.
Whoever have that paying potential, they will become your ideal client. But then smaller, narrow down your niche by asking, what is the one thing that you can help them? Say, oh, who have that problem that you can help with? Say, my client, they are typically busy people who don't have really a lot of time for thinking or writing. Yeah. So that could be one niche. Or you can define your niche by value. If your client is retail business owner, for example, you can say luxury business owners, right? Or you can say that business owner in Hanoi, Vietnam, or like business owner in California, US, by location. You can also define them by their firmographic, right? 5-figure business or 7-figure business or 6-figure business. And with those sort of variable, you will start having an ideal profile. What I mean is it is ideal, but then also you need to go out and test it. Potentially find a few people that you know certain belongs to that target and ask them questions. Build that conversation first and then start asking them questions of the problem they have in their life or in their business. Go do your research and find a way to answer those questions for them. After that, put out the content, send it back to them. Hey, this is what I've been researching on how to solve your problem. Can you resonate? And then if they can resonate, great, because you know your content niche. And then the next step is to pitch them with your pitch of proposing that service for them. Right. If they cannot resonate, go back and do more research. How to be more resonating with that group client. Yeah. Always ask questions if they are willing to pay for your service in a way that not salesy. Yeah. If you go ask, hey, do you want to buy this? Straight no. Yeah.
Can you relate to this? Actually, most of the clients cannot even define their problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. They are just waiting for somebody to
punch it in the face.
Yeah, this might be your problem. You might need it, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I want to do it, but I don't know how
to do that.
to define it." Apple is the kind of classic case, right?
Right.
Yeah, at the beginning, everybody is laughing. So you put the camera together with the phone. And I still remember that I have a lecture with this guy from BlackBerry. And then this guy was literally laughing at iPhone. And he was like, okay, everything iPhone has, we have. And we invented all the stuff. And it's true, BlackBerry invented a lot of things. And
back in the day, they're big name.
Yeah, the whole lot of patents actually. And the iPhones take from the many things, even the copy, paste, cut, paste, and all that. But the thing is, few months later, BlackBerry went bankrupt. That was funny because this guy was laughing at iPhone. But yeah, BlackBerry was very secure. So they are very, maybe even today, there's some government phone using in the US. They are not necessarily using iPhone. Like the president always use like this, like Nokia type of phone. It's like all that. Yeah, and not smartphone because they don't want to charge and such like that. Yeah, so this is a lesson of when you have even a good products and the customers does not even knows how to define the product, the problem. And if you are going out there and your mission is to define the issue for the customers, right? Because the customer doesn't even know they have the problem, right? They're using phone for the longest amount of time, and Kia phone was around for years,
right?
Like decades before the iPhone came in and bring everything to smartphone and applications and all that. Yeah, so they don't know. The customer will not know.
And I guess back to the story there, I guess you are only 2 clients away from making a great business. Getting the first clients is really hard because you need to have a service, you have a product, and then you have to go out and ask people. The second is a little bit easier because you know what works with the first. But then after the first 2 clients, you know exactly what is the problem that those 2 people have. And I believe that if there are 2 people having the same problem, there are probably many of them. And then the more you work with people, the more you have conversation with your clients, the more you understand them as a problem pattern. And then therefore you can categorize them in, say, 3 or 4 different groups. In marketing, we call it persona. But then it's just ideally they can be categorized in like 3 avatars, 3 profile. People having the same problem, caring about the same thing.
Yeah.
and find out the niche that is willing to pay you the most amount of money. Because I think business is, if you, I'm going to make it transactional now. Go for the niche that has the highest potential, and then think of yourself as the one to create the most amount of value for them.
Yeah.
That is a win for everyone, right?
Yeah. 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 Uphold yourself to a higher standard is very important.
Yeah. And for me, I wouldn't advise settling down for the cheaper clients.
Yeah.
Those who bargaining on like a few hours of your work would end up costing you a lot more time.
Mhm.
So define what is the red flag first. Also helps you to stay longer in business and more sustainable as well. Yeah, right.
So-
Dating, you need to have red flags.
Yeah. You have to, if you are going for B2C, so more affordable product, then you have to automate it more
Exactly.
because the amount you spend, the amount of time you spend is the same. It's the same, right?
That's right.
And if you go for small mass audience, then the product somehow has to be simpler, has to be more streamlined, more digestible, but also more high level, and you cannot get into that nutty details where
Exactly.
the real goal is. You
Yeah.
know, it's like introductions
Yeah.
and all that. But yeah, if we obviously have clients who doesn't want to pay but want to get down there,
Yeah. They can work
it's
with
a
one.
problem. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, those who want to get there without wanting to pay or without investing effort. Yeah. I think they just don't want it bad enough.
yeah.
If you want it, but then you don't want to put in the effort for it,
Mhm.
I don't think that it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. You have to take actions anyway. And there are plenty of resources are out there. Learn yourself first. If you see the need of paying someone,
Mhm.
you can pay someone. But then if you want it, then go on YouTube, learn plentiful things.
Yeah,
There's free learning everywhere. And go on LinkedIn, follow a few people. They talk about the topic that you care about, and that's how you can learn about it.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. True, everything is learnable right now. Everything is learnable. Everything is online.
Yeah, everything is
Literally everything is
available
available.
online.
Yeah,
And if you don't want to play, then find the right one to follow. That's it.
mm,
Right. Simple. But then I believe that investing in your learning, investing in your investment, investing in your learning and development
yeah,
is probably the best investment you can make for yourself. Anyway, got to give a bit of resources out there in terms of money and effort
mhm,
that will take you to your goal much faster.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a shortcut kind of
Mindset.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before that, you gotta have that kind of ready mindset
True thing.
and
Yeah.
be ready to invest your most valuable resources, which is time, into this any kind of process. Want to learn coding, you have to invest the time in. If you want to learn personal branding, you have to invest the time in. Otherwise, it's
Want it, then do it.
yeah,
That's the only thing I believe. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
If you keep wanting it without doing anything, then it just what you want.
yeah.
I'm planning to go to Nepal next year, stay there in the Himalayas and enjoy nature and then while working remotely. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's the beauty of working remotely, right?
exactly. You can,
Because you basically can work anywhere
yeah,
and you
you
can.
can travel to places. You can work online pretty much everywhere. And that's, I think, the beauty of owning an online business as well.
Mm,
You can operate everywhere in the world. So yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the plan for next year.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
then keep developing my personal brand project, personal brand product, which more and more say people who are not business founders who want to have something lighter. Yeah, that is my secondary product that I'm gonna develop next year.
So in your personal branding project right now, you are the only person. So are you like a one man show or you have some other people helping you?
Pretty much right now is the one man show because it's one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
But then later on, as I mentioned, I'm gonna build like a more like a mass products, more and
Mm,
more people. That is when I would try to scale it in a say marketing agency way.
yeah.
provide add-on services for business and startups to nail their marketing work. So that was in my intention, but takes time to get there.
Anything takes time, and things that build slowly is the best. But you get to understand which step where you make mistake and you
And I also like the mindset of having something minimal and run and test and improve.
mm,
One man show doesn't allow you to go full on and make a fancy product.
yep,
But
yep,
then you have the MVP sort of minimal viable product mindset. You create and then you try to see if the market is well receiving it, then iterate more.
mm,
It's a lot building different businesses. That's the joy, building different income streams. So you are independent toward any one of them.
yeah. Not you're not depending on any one of them. I think we have a good amount of content. Yeah,
Sure.
that's a
Yeah,
good talk already. Yeah,
I think so.
fun.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, six months, and then now 6 months down the road, and you got clients, and anybody can actually do this.
Absolutely.
If they have they're in the workforce, or even they are not in the workforce, they can still do it if they know what they learn and don't be, I would say, so self-conscious, about what you have learned is what you learn actually other people wants to know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And using what your internal resources, what you know, and then use it to talk to the public and come from a ground of here is the value I can add to make your life easier. That is how you can build something out there. And one last word I can say is personal branding is like the biggest personal asset that will follow you
Yeah.
wherever you go.
Yeah.
Whether-
Cannot take it away from you.
That's right. Nobody
Yeah.
can take it away.
Yeah. People can take away titles, can take away your asset, but nobody can take away your name, right?
Your name, exactly.
Yeah.
And whether you want it or not, whether you accept it or not, you have a personal brand.
Mhm.
And then the best teller of your stories is you.
Yeah.
So why don't you just go and own the narrative around you
Yeah.
rather than letting people have a different perception of a thing that you are not? So yeah, build your personal brand actively. That's I think the message I want to say. Yeah.
Cool. With that, I think we'll wrap up today.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's very beneficial to people listening to this.
Mhm.
Thank you, Quan, for coming to the podcast. And we've been wanting to do this for a long time. We finally
Yeah.
had a chance to do it.
Finally got a chance to.
Yeah, it was fun. Okay, if you guys like the podcast, please subscribe. If you want to learn more about what personal branding is, please put your question in the comment. I have one and to answer it
All right.
personally for you.